Hi everybody, welcome back. It's been 2 weeks and you had midterm break, and this is Beloiter to Beloiter, where two Beloiters who don't know each other get to know each other through conversations and questions and maybe even magic tricks. So let's get to know our tonight's guests. Okay, so let's get to know each other. First, let me introduce myself. I'm Monica, the host of this show, and perhaps we could get your name first?
Sure, yeah. I'm Catherine Orr. I am a chair and professor of critical identity studies here at Beloit College.
Thank you. And?
I'm David Rosales. I do street magic. I'm also a freshman here, but I do that second. Yeah.
So street magic comes first and then the freshman thing kind
Yeah,
of follows?
priorities.
That's priorities. My parents were very disappointed.
It's all good, it's all good. This is Beloit. Magic is allowed.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, thank you, Catherine, and thank you, David, for coming onto our show. Yeah, so first, maybe I have a couple of questions so we can, get to know each other more as, like, people.
Sure.
If that makes any sense.
That's the main way I interact, is as a person.
As a person, right? Yeah. So where are you from?
Okay. No, that's a good question. So I originally grew up in California,
Mm-hmm.
Southern California, right outside of Los Angeles. So I grew up in the desert. And here in Beloit, it's very different than the desert, right? So
Yeah.
I had to learn how to layer and wear wool. And I made my way across the country in various ways. Got a master's in North Carolina. I did my PhD in Minnesota. And then I made it one state over here to Wisconsin.
All right. Wow. Quite a travel.
Yeah, I did my travel by schools. Yeah, so that's how I did my traveling.
Wow. Yeah. Thank you. What about you? Where do you come from, David?
I come from Chicago, so a very long 2-hour trip here.
Yeah.
So grueling.
I can relate. Every time I go from like the O'Hare Airport to Beloit College to Bangouter.
Yeah, I'm very close to here, not much of a weather change, so I'm pretty much used to it, except for the small town aspect.
Right.
Big change.
Yeah.
So now both of you have come to Beloit. I know as a freshman you probably had people ask you a lot, why did you choose Beloit? And I'm going to throw that question to you too. Why Beloit? Why did you come here? What brought you here?
It was a very good school. It was either this or Columbia, and
Wait, Columbia University in
Columbia,
New York?
Yeah, no, in Chicago.
Oh, in
Columbia
Chicago.
College.
New York is way too far for my parents.
Okay.
So yeah, it was I had to be a school nearby, but I wanted a school that was far enough away where I could be off campus. And not off campus, on campus. Getting my words all mixed up.
You're all good.
And I just thought that Beloit was a very nice fit, it had high graduation rates, had a very good theater program that I really liked. I wanted to major in theater, so.
Right. Thank you. Yeah, we'll definitely get into your theater part because I'm really interested in the magic that you brought up earlier. But I would also like to know what brought you here. I mean, you were in the desert, and the winter can kind of be like a very cold desert, but I don't think that was the reason why.
Right. Well, I guess just, when you're coming on the side of like being a professor and looking for academic jobs, it's pretty much the case that you go where the job is, right? I had never heard of Beloit College. I mean, I had never thought about a liberal arts college when I was growing up, even though my mom went to Oberlin, which was really strange. It just never occurred to me to think about liberal arts colleges, so I have to say it was kind of an adjustment to be so close to my students, right? I mean, we're in sort of a big 2-block area that's kind of a hothouse of learning and socializing, and I was used to an urban campus that was much more of a commuter campus, the University of Minnesota.
Right, that's a big one.
Yeah, that is a huge one, right? And so you come in for class and then you go away and live your lives. And, reflecting back on what I chose and how confident I was or wasn't as an undergraduate, I really think an experience like this would have been a lot better for me, right? I kind of kept my head down and just focused on grades instead of really sort of developing the relationships and thinking about the other sort of social community building aspects that we really tend to emphasize here at the college. So if I did it all over again, but I get to teach here, so it's like I never leave, right? 4 years, I'm still here after 4 years, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think it's about 17 years now.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh my goodness.
So I'm kind of like the first years coming in now. I was here when they were like born. That makes me feel like old, very old.
Oh, no,
It's
no, don't feel like
Yeah. I could be your mother.
I think for some people that's a terrifying
I know, it's terrifying that. But it's different being a kind of, because I think when I first came here, and I was getting to know the place, and it was very different. I mean, students had different expectations, you know, sort of you know, who I was. They wanted to like get to know me, and I was like, whoa, you want to get to know me? And I think that I had a sense of myself that I was sort of I was closer in age to my students, right? And I think that sort of affected the dynamic. So I think as I've aged, the dynamic with students have changed. So when I say I'm old enough to be your mother, it's really saying I'm of a different generation, and that's okay. I'm a different person teaching students now than I was when I first came here.
Right, yeah, that must be quite a development for like the internal change that you must have been through. Oh, I'm trying to imagine like my dad maybe going through it because he's also in like the teaching profession.
Oh, okay, all right.
But yeah, wow. So you do gender studies?
Well, yes.
Actually, critical identity
Critical
studies,
identity
right?
studies, yeah.
May I ask what got you
Sure.
into it?
Yeah. Well, it was a little bit by accident. I got my PhD and did all my degrees in communication studies. But for my dissertation, I actually wrote a dissertation about women's studies and the history of women's studies in the United States. So it was kind of a bad career move. I was in one discipline and I wrote about another, and nobody told me it was a bad career move. But, you know, so I applied for like 35 jobs in communication studies that were out in 1998, I guess it was, and got no play, nothing, right? But there were 6 jobs in women's studies, and I got the cut in 3 of those. So 50% sort of callback rate. So, yeah, you only need one job, and that's important to know. You only need one job, and it could really be the right job, and this was the right job for me. So it doesn't always have to be about the odds. It has to be about the match, right?
The match,
Yeah.
Yeah, I can kind of relate to that too. I mean, actually, let's move on to like, speaking of match and, you know, career moves. You've told me earlier that you do magic tricks, right?
I do.
Can you tell me a little bit more about like how you got into magic?
Oh, I've always liked magic. Even as like a little kid, I would like Houdini amazed me. And then I saw Chris Angel on TV, and then he amazed me. And then I figured out how he did all his tricks.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
It's a lot of camera tricks. Sorry, Chris Angel. A lot of camera tricks. Not much skill. So I kind of yeah.
Yeah, the icon falls, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then I met Penn and Teller. Well, not personally, but I like found them and like these guys are amazing. They're a good, great pair. And I only recently started practicing magic, like 2 years ago. So I've always liked magic. I just never like practiced it.
Yeah. So like you kind of knew what you already really liked. It was like a match for you, and maybe when you started like 2 years ago, you really found it that it was something that you wanted to pursue.
Well, not professionally. It's more like a hobby. Yeah, I actually want to direct. That's why I want to major in theater.
Cool, that is really neat. Now, I think this is like a great opportunity for David's magic tricks. He was actually showing me one of his tricks earlier, right before we started filming.
Of course I can. I told myself I wouldn't do a card trick on camera, but I'm going to break that rule.
Okay.
I have a deck of cards just to show you that they're all different. I can even show the camera.
They are? They're different?
Just, either one of you can pick a card.
Okay.
Good.
All right, go ahead and look at it. Now I have here this Sharpie, hiding behind the sign. I want you to sign your card.
You want me to sign it?
Yeah, on the
Like,
face of the card.
Right, this is, okay,
Yeah,
I'm gonna ruin your card.
That's fine.
Okay.
Just write on the face of it, not the back.
The face of this.
Yeah, not your face, the face of it.
Got it, okay, no, I got that part, I understood that, okay. And so what do you want me to write?
Anything you want your name, just make sure that like I can't copy it anyway. Just to clarify, we've never met before. This is our first time
Never
meeting.
met. I
So
mean, I know
it's-
his name is David, but I have never met this man before in my life. Okay.
So there's no way I could copy that signature, right?
No,
All right, can
not
I see
mine.
that card?
Okay.
All right, so weird thing about this card, it's the only card in the whole deck that is similar, that it is the 7 of spades. Is your card the 7 of spades?
It is.
I'm joking.
I can see it right there, it's 7 of spades.
So this is the only card in the whole deck that is the 7 of spades.
Uh-huh.
But it's the only card in the whole world that has your signature on it, and
Right.
I can't replicate that.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take your card and I'm going to fold it.
Oh,
Yeah, so that's why it's okay if you write on it.
you buy a lot of a deck of cards, right?
My roommate will tell you that I have at least 10
A
decks.
box,
in my
yeah, okay, you get them in bulk, okay.
Now, I'm going to give you this, hold on to it for a second,
Okay,
and I'm going to take the card on top, 4 of diamonds is fine. And I'm going to sign it. Now we have 2 cards.
Ooh, can you show the sign?
Sorry, I signed it. I'm going to do the same thing with this guy, I'm going to fold it up. Now, what I want you to do with your card,
uh-huh.
I want you to put your card in your mouth, as I'm going to do right now. Don't worry, these cards are very clean, these are
Whoa,
fresh.
whoa,
back.
okay, okay.
In my mouth, so, okay, can you just tell me why I'm putting it in my mouth?
If I tell you, it will ruin the
Oh,
surprise.
God.
Don't worry, they're very clean.
Okay.
I put these cards,
It's
not
just
these
that
cards
putting a
specifically.
card in my mouth for posterity, it's on video. Okay, all right, all
It's
right.
not like, not all the way in, just like bite into it like this.
Uh-huh.
No, what I want you to do is just, I want you to think of my card, the 4 of diamonds,
Uh-huh.
and I'll think of your card, the 7 of spades, and just
Uh-huh.
concentrate on that, all right?
Uh-huh.
Now, are you concentrating?
Uh-huh, I'm
All right.
concentrating.
Can you understand me? Okay.
I'm concentrating.
Now, if
I feel the vibes. The force is being exchanged here.
Okay, okay.
if I did this right, your card is the 7 of spades, right?
Uh-huh. Oh my God.
Whoa.
What do I have?
Wait, are you serious?
You should have the 4 of diamonds.
I do.
Oh my gosh.
Very
Oh.
nice. Okay. I was watching you too. I didn't see how you did that. That was good. I
That
am
was the
impressed.
point.
I am impressed. Okay.
Thank you.
Me too. I am like super impressed. I mean, like earlier you did something with like the red spongy ball, and I could kind of see what you were doing. But this is like completely.
So was the mouth thing necessary?
It gives it more of an effect. You know? If it's in your mouth, there's
I was
like,
really wondering. It's like, do I really have to put this in my mouth? Okay.
if it's in your mouth, there's like very little chance I'm going to take it out of your hand or,
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. All right.
Okay, so like my mind is just like going to a place where he must have switched it at some point.
I know. I was
right?
watching.
Right?
I didn't see.
Yeah.
You
did you
know.
notice
neither
how
did
I
I.
signed my card after I gave yours back?
Yes,
There's no way I could have switched it.
but somehow you did.
Just watch, if someone on campus finds this video, they're going to comment in YouTube or whatever.
Right. So we had 3 cameras on you. I mean, someone must have been able to see
Yeah, and
something.
like
Something.
I'm right here. I can like see
I was
what
watching,
you're doing.
right?
Well,
yeah.
I just-
yeah, right?
I specialize in street magic, and that's usually very one-on-one, so everything I do is very up close.
Uh-huh.
Compared to like compared to stage magic, you know, it's just people who are like 10, 20 feet away. So,
So you're probably pretty good at engaging people like one-on-one. Right?
Yeah.
Sort of like saying, hey, come on over here and look at my card tricks.
I'm not shy to approach people,
Mhm.
yeah.
But you're kind of set up on the street and you sort of start doing things and people come over and watch.
Yeah, you might have seen me at the farmer's market
Ah.
the last couple of months. Yeah, I was
Really?
performing street magic at the farmer's market.
Do you have to have your own booth at the farmer's market?
Well, yeah, I talked to the owner, whoever prepares the farmer's market, and they told me that people usually pay at the beginning of the season about $100
Mhm.
to set up a booth. And since I came here like 3 months in,
Uh-huh.
Right.
I wasn't about to pay $100 to make
Right.
$40 a week.
Yeah.
maybe at most.
So you make money at this?
Yeah, mostly tips. I don't steal people's money.
Uh-huh.
It's more like you have a hat, and if they want to put
Yeah, it's more
put it
than that.
in. Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
Very cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. We have an entrepreneur here.
Yeah, really, yeah, that's pretty good for like first semester freshman. I'm pretty impressed.
Me too. I wish I had something like that, like earlier.
Just give me 3 weeks and I'll be CEO.
Okay, what kind of magic trick are you going to pull on that one?
Oh, it's big plans, big plans.
Big plans for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. Wait, okay, so now I'm kind of getting curious about like human nature here, because your move was considered like, you know, I'm thinking about like career moves and like passions and what people get interested in. Obviously you've got this talent, you've got a knack for the cards, you know, you've also got like a stage persona,
Yeah.
you know what you like. And from the story you told me earlier, that it was almost like a serendipitous encounter in a way, like, or like a blessing in disguise that you happened to write for the wrong department, which turned out to
Right,
be like
yeah, the right
working
thing,
for you.
yeah. Mhm.
So I'm curious what you guys think about what people could do to find their like passions or interests. What you have, like, what kind of advice you would give them to like, you know, figure out their career path, what they would want to do for life, that kind of thing.
And who are the they that we're talking about?
Primarily your audience. Hopefully that's like our Beloiters on campus. Hi.
Okay.
Yeah. Or maybe even people who randomly find our videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
So.
Me first? Okay, so, you know, I have kind of a spiel about this because I'm the director of initiatives, and we often talk about the first 2 years, right? So we're sort of focused on the first 2 years. So kind of the period before you find a major and sign up for a minor and things like that, we really encourage exploration, right? Taking, for example, courses that you never heard of in high school, or signing up for a club, right, that seems to be doing things that you've always wondered about, right? I think taking risks and, you know, trying to find who your people are in some ways, I think is a really important thing in the first 2 years. And, you know, when I say your people, I mean your people might be, you know, your friends, but they also might be people that challenge you, or they might be people that frustrate you, but focusing on all the time how it is you're reacting to the world around you, sort of listening to your own sense of self. I think that kind of cultivation of self is something we do pretty well here, so I think a lot about that. I mean, I think a lot about sort of how it is students find their passions. You know, you talk to your advisor, right? And your advisor probably has some advice because they're an advisor, right? But I also think they're trying to get to know you. And, you know, they're not just trying to give you a rote sort of, like, here's the path you should take because it's the best path. It's like, so what's your path? And it takes a while. Sometimes students come in here and they know exactly what they want to do, right? And sometimes I get a little concerned about that because I feel like you're not giving yourself a chance to do some exploration. But some students come in, it's like, I have no idea, and it's like, well, that's okay, because that's what we're here for, right? So yeah, I think exploration lasting a couple years, that's absolutely fine.
I really like resonate with that, and I really like am thankful for what you guys do. I mean, I'm a senior right now, so I've been through like the FYI, and I've definitely felt the intention and like the practical application of the intention, so to speak.
So how long did it take you to find sort of your major or your passion? Not that those are always the same thing, but yeah.
Right. I want to become a writer, and I'm not actually a creative writings major. But definitely through the exploration of my philosophy major, I've come to appreciate like ideas that are really intriguing for me, like, you know, what is happiness, what is, you know, what is human nature, what is the meaning of life. Philosophy majors go super big on this, but
that's a great example of like saying, what I'm passionate about doesn't necessarily have to align completely with what my major is, right?
Right.
And that's important to know that, right?
Thank you. Yeah, I definitely feel that too, and it's something that flows out of me, the writing component. So
That will serve you well, right? Whatever you do, that will serve you well. Yeah.
Thank you. I'll keep doing it. I'll keep doing it. Yeah. So I'm actually so this is another interesting thing. Although I am passionate as a writer, I also like doing performances, which is why I can very much relate to the excitement that you have with performing magic tricks, because I like improv actually. So what is your take on finding, discovering your passion, living it? I know you're a freshman, where it's not
It's okay.
It's all good.
That's a very big question. Actually, for a very long time, I wanted to be a paleontologist.
Wow.
That was when I was really young, maybe 6, maybe up till I was 10. So you could imagine a small little kid going, I want to be a paleontologist. While other kids were saying I want to be a fireman and stuff.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be a paleontologist because of 3 movies that I've watched as a kid over and over and over again, and those were the Jurassic Park movies.
Oh.
Yeah. And then it got to when I was maybe in middle school, and I started to think about it, and I realized it's really boring just learning about animals that are extinct. It's not as exciting as running away.
There's no soundtrack,
There's
right?
no soundtrack.
Yeah.
And my mom sat me down and asked me what I wanted to be, and I'm like, I still want to be a paleontologist. And she asked me if I know how much money they make, and I said, I still think a lot, they're scientists. And she told me who would hire me, and I'm like, hopefully a museum of some kind. She's like, how much money do museums make? And I thought about it, and I realized that paleontology probably isn't the best suit for me, because I'm not very interested in that, nor does it make a lot of money.
I mean, what's a lot of money to you? I mean, what does that mean?
Well, I actually haven't done much research on it in a very long time, mostly because of my mom. Thanks.
I imagine there's a food chain though. I imagine there's folks that are sort of renowned in their field and everyone knows their name, and I imagine they can claim quite the salary, right? But I also imagine there's lots of people who are wanting that first job and things like that, and I think that's a lot of fields too. Right? I mean, that's academia, right? And that's a lot of fields, right? That's media, that's food, that's a lot of industries. I think would be that way.
Definitely. I mean, I'm
writing, right?
Yeah. You get the tip of the iceberg that you come to know very well, but then there's so much more that makes the iceberg.
Right.
So.
Those hierarchies.
Yeah, and then in middle school, I went into the drama club, and I started as one of the stagehands, and then they needed someone to be a father in this very short play of Hansel and Gretel for this competition, and I only had 2 lines, so I volunteered, and I realized I really liked acting, and just performing, and that's when, in high school, I joined the comedy improv, so we had something in common.
We do!
Yeah, and actually last year, for my senior year, I was captain of the team, because we actually...
Nice!
Yeah.
Competitions?
Yeah, it was a small little friendly competition. We just split the club in half and just had 2 separate teams that were just, friendly little competition on stage.
Wow. Okay, so then that got you really into doing stage performances.
Yeah.
What would be your maybe 1 sentence, 2 sentence advice to freshmen, or maybe just humanity in general, who's really looking for, what they want to do, what they love to do for a living, their excitement, their passion. What's your advice on that?
I would say, no matter how much money you make, doing what you love is always worth it.
That is, I totally agree.
How does your mother feel about that?
She also tried to convince me not to major in theater, but my dad was fairly supportive. He preferred I do something else, but If I'm happy, he's happy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I understand that. I know your parents are concerned about your well-being and your livelihood after, you get done paying for college. I get that.
Yeah. I can see both sides, but I think probably because I'm an undergraduate student ready to go out into the world, I like the idea of following my excitement.
Right.
Yeah, but practicality is necessary at some point. But yeah, I mean, thank you so much for coming here tonight. It was really a pleasure to have you both, and the deep insights that you brought to the table, and yes, the magic trick.
Yes,
awesome.
great magic trick.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So, thank you everybody for coming in tonight, tuning in tonight to Beloiter. We had for tonight's guests, Catherine Ward and David, I am so sorry, what is your last name?
Rosales. It's okay.
Rosales?
Yeah, Rosales.
Rosales. David Rosales.
Named after a flower.
Beautiful. All right, so with this blossoming evening, hopefully we will be able to see you next week. Oh, actually, that's 2 weeks from now. And see you then.